So I'm recording a session. You guys have access to this for 1 month. Remember, you don't need to download. You can listen to these audio recordings for 1 month only. It will be in the Skype, right? And if you want, you can download and save it in your um, desktop.
Okay.
And then you can anywhere you can have listen that even offline. So if you have a good network, I would suggest that you record it because on Skype it will be there just for a month. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start with this. Okay. I'm gonna share the screen. Let me know if it is visible to you guys. Unfortunately, I don't know why Skype is not responding on my laptop. I'm trying to do it. Okay. I believe it's you guys can see the screen.
Yes, ma'am, but it's too small. Yeah.
Yes.
I can't see from where, I don't know. First time using
Oh,
this Skype.
okay. Now it is on your screen only. You don't have to do anything. It is on your screen. It will be written on a. It will be a PPT. If you can see that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Which? What? PPT?
I mean, it is on. You can see my screen actually. I have shared my screen with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Great. So, uh, basic introduction to the OET. I just want to give you that. As you guys know, that it has 4 modules: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. As I've given you a brief that your exam usually starts by 9, and it starts first is always listening, second reading, third writing, and at last is speaking. And you get in between before speaking, you will have your lunch.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you will be energetic to speak. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
It will be a good lunch. Let me tell you. Yeah, in like it's always in a 4 or 5 star hotels. It's conduct there, and they provide a good lunch.
Okay.
So my motto is always to have a better lunch. Yeah. Okay. So the listening and reading test are common for all the profession. Now this is very important that this OET occupation English test is only for the medical profession, and there are 12. Now which include your technicians, X-ray lab, pharmacist, physio, everybody, right? And
Yes.
dietitian even. Now the test which you get on the day, the listening and reading will be same for all the profession. It doesn't matter if they are physiotherapist or they are from any other profession, they all will get the same, even the doctors.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so it would be same for everyone. However, writing and speaking would be profession specific.
Okay.
Okay, and when I say profession specific, it means like if you're a nurse, you'll get a topic of a nurse. If you are a doctor, you'll get a topic of a doctor. Same way in writing also.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so this is for it, and important thing to know that they are not going to assess your clinical knowledge. If you're saying something wrong, let's say you are explaining some side effects to the patient of paracetamol and you're saying something wrong, which is not even logical, it doesn't matter. They're not going to assess you. They're going to evaluate only your English.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so clinical knowledge is not required. Moreover, if you have clinical knowledge, don't implement your own knowledge. Whatever is
Okay.
given, you have to do that. Even in writing also, whatever is given in the task, you have to write that. You will not add any additional knowledge from your side.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. So as I said, the first module is listening. So it's approximately for 50 minutes and they will not stop in between. So when you practice, make sure if you are not getting any word, don't stop. Okay, so don't make a habit of stopping or pausing the audio in between. Just do it in one and let's see how much you get.
Okay.
Okay, so um, again, in listening, there are three parts like part A, B, C, but your audio will not stop.
Okay.
Okay, so I mean, audio will not stop. You will only listen to once it started, you will listen it completely.
Okay.
So in part A, B, C, as I said, so part A is like OPD scenario. OPD scenario means it is a OPD where a patient has come to see a doctor. Okay, so he is saying that I have this problem, have headache or anything, a symptom. The doctor will ask for more
Like
details and do the clinical assessment. Yeah, like speaking we do.
yes, ma'am.
Yes, so same like that. So part A, mainly the answer comes from the patient side. So listen to that here.
Okay.
Okay. Now, in part A, it is not compulsory that it will always be a doctor or a patient. It could be a dentist, it could be a physio, it could be even nurse, it could be anybody.
Okay.
Okay. So you must practice that carefully. Now, in part B and C, um, so in part A is basically, you know, as you listen, you have to write. Both the things will be done simultaneously. If you will focus on writing, you will lose your listening. If you will completely focus on listening, you will lose writing. So it is done simultaneously. As I always say during college time, when our teacher used to dictate the notes and we used to write. Yeah. So it is in the same way.
Okay.
Okay. So there will be two scenarios in part A. Like there will be two, like 5 minutes for one and consultation and second consultation again for another 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. So you have to listen as you write. You have to write as you listen. Okay. So coming to the part B and C. Now part B is consist of workplace extracts. That means this part A, it's very interesting actually. Part B, when you will practice, you will also find it interesting. Now it is there will be 6 questions in part B only, and in this part B, that 6 questions which I'm saying, there will be 6 different audio. Means
Okay.
there will be a small audio clip for 1 minute for one question. That means there will be 6 questions, then means 6 clips.
Topic. Mhm.
Okay, and that will be very small. For example, like Bijo and Reshmi, you both are in same department. You are talking about a patient in the in administrating room. There, this patient is not good. She's so irritated, or you can say that I'm not able to put an IV cannula. You're talking about the patient. The two nurses are talking to each other.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
difference in part A and part B is part A is between patient and medical professional, and part B is between one medical professional to another medical professional. It could be doctor to doctor, it could be nurse to nurse, it could be nurse to doctor, and vice versa in any that case. Okay, like a team briefing is going on of doctors and they're discussing about the patient. So that's how the part B works. Now, the strategies, which is good to hear, is in part B, always listen the whole conversation. During that conversation, you will notice there will be 3 points of 3 options. So you will see that they are saying all the 3 options. Okay.
Okay.
So you have to listen to the whole conversation and then conclude the answer. You have to go with the gist of that. We will talk about the strategies in the next slide. Um, I will explain you that. So in part C is again for 5 minutes only. In this, there will be two scenarios. There will be one a recorded presentation. Like now, I'm giving it's called a one-way training, right? I'm teaching you. I'm only speaking and you guys are listening. So same way, there will be a recorded presentation by a doctor who may be a head of some department, and she's giving a lecture on that.
Okay.
Or a scientist who has done some research work and is talking about her research, or a doctor who is talking about somebody's research.
Okay.
Okay, and second part of part C will have an interview, like on a radio jockey you might have heard. They usually interview the other person, right? So same way, the interview goes, two persons are talking, one person is taking the interview. It helps you actually, this interview part. Easy to find out the answers, because the person who is taking an interview will ask for the question as you are getting. So you know that this is the question and this is going to be answer. All right.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
That is. I hope you got the difference between A, B, C.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because it's going to help you in reading as well. Because the part A, B, C, this structure is same in listening and reading.
Okay.
Okay. So this is about listening, and if I go to the reading, yes, reading is again, it has again three parts. As I said, is quite similar to part listening. So same way in reading, part A is more about matching sentence completion and short answers. Short answers means not more than 2 to 3 words. Okay, and part B has 3 option, multiple choice option. Part C has again MCQ, but 4 options.
Okay.
That's the difference in B and C. C is actually reading is little tough because you have more options. More options, more confusion. Right. So coming to the part A of reading. Now this is quite interesting in reading, because in reading part A, you'll get only 15 minutes.
Okay.
And for B and C, you have 45 minutes. Now, it doesn't mean like IELTS that you will continue with part A. If you're not able to finish, probably you will take some more time. No, it is not like IELTS. Here, they will give you part A first, reading part A. Then they will say your 15 minutes starts now. And once after 15 minutes is over, they will collect your sheets back.
Okay.
Okay, you will not get extra time for part A. Remember that. So it is very important when you practice. Initially, if you are taking 15 minutes, it is okay. You are getting, because this is easy. See, there are 20 questions, around 20 to 22 questions in part A, and you have only 15 minutes. But why they have given it like less time? Because the answers are really easy. You can quickly find out the answers. And that depends quick you find out. It all depends on your practice.
Okay.
Okay, you can easily later on you can do this in 10 minutes, and before you go for exam, you must practice this part A only in 10 minutes.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
So because it is, I feel this is a mentality, this is fixed in our subconscious mind that I have 15 minutes. If I know that I have only 10 minutes, I can do it in 10 minutes also.
Okay. So we need to improve our skimming and scanning skill.
Absolutely. That's what I told you. Start reading quickly on the newspaper whenever you have a time. Right?
Sure, ma'am. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So I'll tell you the strategies for this. We'll talk that later.
Okay.
Okay. Coming to this right now, part B and C, as I said, you have 45 minutes here.
Okay.
45. combined. Now they will stop your paper after 45 minutes here. So you have combined time for part B and C. But I again recommend all my students how it is divided. You know, part B always, you know, people, it's like 15 minutes because part B has 6 questions, same as listening, I told you. So only six
Mhm.
question, and each question has a small paragraph, different paragraph. So
Okay.
it is a small paragraph which you have to read and find out the answer. So now that's only 6 question in part B. Now in part C there are 2 sections, and under each section there are seven questions, total 14 questions. So if I divide part C also into its 2 sections, that means 15, 15, 15, right? So
Hmm.
you will have more time. So when you practice, you can always make a target for part B. Keep an alarm or a timer with you for 15 minutes only in part B. People can do it 10 minutes also part B, but I want you to start when you do a practice with 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yep.
In part
Okay.
C, total how much of questions there, ma'am? 6, 14.
Question. Part
Hello.
C has 14 questions.
14 or 16, ma'am? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, guys, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
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 Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So that's what is important. Okay. So
Okay.
keep a timer when you practice. That's very important because part B is still easier, but for part C you have a very long paragraph. You know, there will be two texts of 800 words each. 800 means a lot,
Okay.
right? So increase your speed. That's very important. And all these topics are related to healthcare professionals only. You will not get any non-medical. So basically, these reading topics are taken from medical journals only, either from British Journal, Medical Journal, or from Australian Medical Journal. I don't know if you guys can on a Google, you can write British Medical Journal, and you can subscribe to them. They will send a free listening and this reading medical journal module every week. I get this every week.
Okay,
Okay.
ma'am.
Good.
Okay? And they
Hmm.
are in audio version also. So you can listen to them, you can read to them. So that's additional benefit to increase your reading skills.
Okay.
Okay. So I hope the pattern is clear to you guys for listening and reading.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes.
great. So coming to the writing now. Writing subtask is specific to each profession, as I mentioned earlier, and you will have
Mhm.
45 minutes to complete the task. 45. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So in 45 minutes, 5 minutes is only for the reading. Means during that time, you cannot even touch your pencil. If you will touch, it will be considered as malpractice, and they will send the mail directly to the OET and exam can be cancelled. You will not get the result.
Oh, okay,
Mm.
ma'am.
If somebody says, you know, I got a call from some student, I don't know, I don't remember her name. She said, I want to start the training because I have to give exam, but I didn't get my result of 2 months ago. She gave. I said, why? She said, no, I don't know. I'm not getting any response, and they're saying it is not published. It's basically the issue is this. Um, she might have got a warning from the examiner over there, and if she has touched the pencil, if she has done it second time, she did not follow her instruction second time, she will not say anything. She will just type a mail to you with
Oh,
Mm.
okay, ma'am.
the result will not be published. Or if published, they will give you all C without even checking your paper. Okay, so follow the instructions carefully. If they're saying not to touch, that means not to touch. They say give the paper. If you will keep on writing, will not give the paper. If she got angry, then person has to suffer. Okay, so because this is international exam, so you they are expecting you to exhibit a professional behavior. So follow their instructions and do that carefully. All right. Now 5 minutes, no touching the pencil, and 40 minutes after that, they will let you know that your 5 minutes are over. Now you can start writing. So then you have 40 minutes only. So during that 40 minutes, you can write the letters. Now, how to utilize this time, how to write the letter, that I will take a session on that separately because it's a big thing. Okay, so I cannot finish that just in one session, everything, because I want everything to clear to you guys. So I just don't want to rush. Important thing you should understand.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So
Okay.
as I talked, 40 minutes you have, and usually these writing letters are either referral letter, transfer letter, or advice letter. And you write from one healthcare professional to the other. For example, I'm a nurse, I'm writing to a physiotherapist, I'll write to dietitian, to occupational, to psychologist, to GP, to anyone. And number of those, so many professionals are there. As a nurse, you can get a letter to write to any other medical professional. Yeah. And very interesting or very new thing which I've noticed that last time in the exam, there was that a nurse is writing to a music therapist. Okay, so you can get some time out of the box of this, but how it is related to the task, that makes sense. Okay, so guys, you can mute from your end so I can hear background sound. Yes, thank you. The letter must contain 180 to 200 words. So minimum 180, maximum 200. Yeah. So if it is under length, till 170 they accept, till 220 they accept, but not less or more than that. So they're very clear. If you have written, if your words are more than 200, that means you have mentioned something irrelevant. And if you have less than 180, that means you missed some relevant information. So they told very clearly during our training that, that we don't count words. We don't count. So we check the relevancy. If he has written everything, that means this letter is within the limit word. Right? Now, okay, so I'll take you through its assessment criteria. That is, we can discuss today. Now, this is very important. So please listen that very carefully. This is writing assessment criteria. Now, these are the points. If you guys want to take a screenshot, there is a camera sign in your screen. You can click on that.
Actually, it's not visible for me.
Jaslin,
It's too
Jaslin, please
late
keep the slide in a view mode.
now. Okay.
Okay, is it better now? I guess it is clear to you guys now. Now, here in, if you guys are not able to add, I will just, yeah. Well, the first thing in writing assessment criteria is purpose.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Audible to you?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, now. Hi, ma'am.
Hello. No,
Hello.
I cannot hear you, madam.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now. Now we can.
No.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes.
There's
Leslie.
some issue in my mic. How it is possible? Okay. So is it okay now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if my Wi-Fi is then my headset got a problem. Okay. Okay, so let me know if you guys are able to see the screen
No, ma'am.
No, it's
now.
very small
No.
screen. Can't read.
Now,
Now
No.
it's little better.
okay. Okay. So as I was explaining you about the purpose, purpose has to be quick and in a precise sense. For example, as I mentioned, I'm writing, not typing. I'm writing a letter to a home care nurse, and purpose is mentioned that patient needs continued care at
Okay.
home after discharge. So that means
Mm.
my purpose is only, purpose means why I am writing, right?
Okay.
So why I am writing? Because the patient need continued care. So I will write, I'm writing to refer Mr. X to you for continued care followed by his discharge. That is my purpose. Is that clear? So I've written in a very precise sense.
Okay.
Okay. So then second comes the content. It has 7 marks. Now this content means whatever is my purpose, I need to explain my purpose in the first paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
Now, first paragraph is a real picture of your introduction, and your first para is the heart of your letter. If
Okay.
both the things are correct, you can even get B. If you have not written rest of the letter, you still get B. I have many students those who got B, and they said they were not able to finish it, and only the one student wrote only first para, and she got B.
Mm.
Okay, so this is very important to understand. Whatever to whom you are writing, the purpose will be always mentioned in the task. So
Okay.
purpose is very clear that this patient need continue care at home after discharge because he underwent some surgery. Now this is my introduction. Now what will be in the first para, that what is content means explanation of the purpose, which is accurate and key information. Key means important information. So the important information is why this patient needs continued care. So that thing I need to explain in the first paragraph.
Okay.
Okay, so that is called content. So you have 7 marks for this. So very important. Now,
Mm.
Okay.
next 7 contain your conciseness and clarity. If you have written very neat and tidy and very cut clear information is given, you are not writing a big sentence, you are writing precisely, you are using a complex sentence. For example, I'm saying I'm writing to refer Mr. X who requires this. I'm not writing again, he requires your assistance. So I'm connecting, I'm writing complex and compound sentences. So, and I'm writing it precisely.
Okay.
Mm.
For example, Mr. X is an old man, he lives alone, he is a widower. So I can connect this information in a one line and say that Mr. X is an old, comma, lives alone and a widower. So this is
Okay.
called compound sentence. So this is called a precise. We will practice this during the writing session. So genre and style. Now again, it has 7 marks. Means appropriateness of register and tone. Now that's very important. In speaking, also I keep on saying you never use can, be polite, take a permission. Could I do this? Would I do this? So same way in writing also, we never use should.
Okay.
Mm.
Should, please note down these things, because should is it sounds like an order. If I'm saying you should do this, you must
Commanding.
do this, so that it's commanding, it's an order, instructions, not polite way.
Okay.
Yeah, so what is the tone of your letter, that is very very important. So always use a polite tone.
Okay.
Okay, no abbreviations. Sometimes people write BP is okay, acceptable, like UTI or other things. So you have to keep in mind no abbreviation and personal understanding. Personal understanding, as I told you initially that not
Our
your
own
own,
ideas,
not your,
not into the.
yes, not your own knowledge. Never use that. If you have think that I believe this patient needs your care, that means it is wrong.
Okay, ma'am.
All right. So
Mm.
if you will write in a good way, you'll get the 7 marks here. So these is the marks cut for all these things. Now next is again 7 marks, which is organization and layout, the way you have written the letter. Like I say that it should be neat and clean. It should be always start from the left side of the page. There are no paragraphs, like there are paragraphs, and there's always a gap of one line in between the paragraphs, but normally we start the paragraph from the center of the line, middle of the line.
Mm.
But in OET, in formal letters, we don't write like that. We start from the
Okay, ma'am.
left side of the page only.
Mm.
However, there will be a gap of one line between all the paragraphs.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Now,
Mm.
clearly structured layout should be appropriate. Now, last one is language, very important. Vocabulary, grammar, spelling, punctuation. So this is very important. Vocabulary, grammar, spelling, sorry, and punctuation. Of course, they check for the grammar, but let me tell you, uh, grammar, if you have even 5 6 mistakes, they will ignore it.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so grammatically it should be correct, no doubt, but they can ignore up to your 5 6. But if your letter is relevantly written and politely tone, everything rest is okay, they'll give you B, even though
Oh,
there are grammatical mistakes.
Mm.
mm,
Okay, I
mm.
hope it is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, so this is just keep idea in all this thing. However, when we'll do a complete writing session, we will discuss along with the sample separately.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay,
Sure.
now the next one is speaking. Now, speaking subtest is again approximately, I told you, for 15 to 20 minutes. Initially, first round is warm up round in which they ask basic question and no evaluation for that. Second round comes with a cue card. You get 2 minutes for the preparation, 2 to 3, and then 5 minutes you need to speak. Once it is over, then you'll get the second card. Again, you have to speak for 5 minutes.
Okay.
So this is how the score, I mean the role play cards they give you. And on the role play card, you can mark, you can put a um, line, you can underline, you can write down if you want, you can do whatever you want. But once the examiner said that start speaking, you should start immediately.
Mm.
Okay, because he will start the timer if you will not start.
Okay.
Okay, now coming to the important thing which I was saying, that is the assessment criteria of speaking. Very important. So keep this in mind. There are two types of assessment criteria. One is called linguistic. Now, word itself seems you can understand it is linguistic means
Correct.
language
Correct.
related to the language, right? So again, all grammatical things comes under this. Now, second is clinical communication. Very clearly indicates clinical means when the communication which you do in a hospital, that's clinical communication. So that's what is important. Now, the first one is linguistic criteria. You guys can take a shot if you want. Linguistic criteria. Now, there are 4 points under linguistic criteria, and this has 6 marks. Each point has 6 marks, remember, important. Okay. Now, first one comes intelligibility. Intelligibility means you are going to They're going to assess you for the stress, your intonation, rhythm, pronunciation. Intonation means how do you speak? What is the tone, rhythm? Is it very fast? Is it very slow? How it is? The pronunciation. Yeah, how do you pronounce particular word? That's very important. Now, how we do the mistake here even. We usually say pronunciation. It is not pronunciation. It is pronunciation.
Oh, okay.
All right. So the common thing which I notice is we usually say food. So remember, it is food.
Yes,
Okay. So same way you will say FOOL. The same way then you will say it to um, FOOD, food. Right.
mm-hmm.
So this is about intelligibility, 6 marks for this. Fluency. Now, fluency doesn't mean that you have to speak very fast. No. Remember, I told, I think previously also, English is usually um, spoken very slow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you will speak slow, you will slow. It doesn't mean that there should be very long pauses. No. But it should not be very fast. I believe
Mm-hmm.
personally that Malayalam is very fast language, is it?
Yes, ma'am. Too
Yeah,
fast.
without taking the breath, you can say so many things.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very fast. This is actually opposite to that. It's very slow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't need to speak very fast. You need to keep your moderate speed so that a person, remember, you're going to teach to somebody, you're going to teach to the patient. So you have to speak slow.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Like
And
your
adequate pauses.
grandmother. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very good. So adequate pauses. Pauses are very important because in writing we can use comma and full stop, but in speaking, while speaking, we can't say comma and full stop, right? So we have to give a pauses. Very small pause, comma, a little more pause, bigger pause means full stop,
Okay.
right? For example,
Mm-hmm.
I am a girl. I'll stop here. And I'm very hardworking,
Mm-hmm.
right? If I'll say I am a girl, I'm very hardworking. Now, these two are different lines. So I'm putting a full stop. But when I connect, I'm putting a comma.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on this thing, all right?
Okay.
Okay, so what is appropriateness of language? What tone, again, registered tone, your lexis, explained in lay language. If you will more explain in a simple language, you'll get 6 marks. If it is very easily explained, 6. If not a little bit, then 5, 4, 3, 2. Like there is a checklist. If the
Okay.
examiner thinks you have explained very well in a layman language, you'll get 6. Otherwise, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Oh.
Okay, so this is
Mm-hmm.
checklist with the examiner basically. So
Okay.
last is resources of grammar and expressions, your vocabulary, your confidence, how rich you are with the grammar knowledge. So all that matters here,
Okay.
right? Like sometime when we speak, we say one thing, one thing I want to say. Instead of one thing, if you will use additional format like moreover, additionally,
Yeah,
that
along with that.
will increase your score,
Okay.
right? So that is
Mm.
called linguistic criteria. Remember, there are 4 points and each point has 6 marks. That's 20. Okay, so the next one is this. You can take a shot for this. Um, Clinical communication criteria. Important one. Okay, so the first is relationship building. as I always say, always when you start, please make a relationship first. Start the conversation. You are the one who will start the conversation. You have to be attentive. How you can show to the patient that you are attentive?
We need to tell okay, all right, and we need to
Yeah.
repeat if I understood it correctly. These things are you said.
Very good. Mhm. So be attentive is yes, because the person who is going to give you a score is listening your audio. He's not watching you. If you are nodding your head, probably I can't see. But if you will say, okay, all right, I understand, that means you are listening to the patient attentively.
Mm.
Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, like under relationship building, first one is start the conversation. That will be always started by you. Never wait for the other person to start. Be attentive. Now you have to be very attentive, non-judgmental. Again, you will never judge the patient. For example, we did a task and patient said, I don't want to go home. So you cannot say that why you have to go home. No, it's ordered by a doctor. That means you're getting judgmental. So you have to be
Mm.
non-judgmental means you will say to the patient, okay, I understand your concern. Would you mind telling me that what is bothering you? Why you don't want to go? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Show empathy. Like patients say that like we already done task, so it is easy for you guys to understand. So show empathy means where patients say I could fall at home because there's nobody. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that you live that there's no one at home, but don't worry. So I would suggest you to call your friend or family. So I'm sorry, and I understand your concern. So that all is empathy.
Okay.
Now, all this comes under relationship building, and all this has 3 marks.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I hope this part of relationship building is clear because this is really important.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, second comes understanding and incorporating the patient's perspective. Understanding and incorporating the patient's perspective means we need to understand what the patient says. So
Okay.
include eliciting and exploring the patient's concern. So we need to always explore the concerns. We are exploring how we are doing. For example, the patient said, I don't want to go home. So you are asking that what is bothering you? Why you don't want to go? That is you are exploring the his concerns.
Answer. Okay.
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 Now, second is picking up cues from the patient about his or her needs. Then you're asking, like the patient said, that I am alone and there's nothing, nobody yet to help me. Then you can say, okay, I would suggest that you call your friends. So that is what you are, from his points only, you are helping him and providing and explaining, relating explanation to the patient's concern and needs. Then you are giving explanation related to that okay, so if nobody can come, like if let's say the patient say that I don't have any friends or family, then probably you
Mm-hmm.
can offer help for assistance of a social worker.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, so that is relating explanation to that. Is that
Okay.
clear?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Now third one is um, providing structure. Now this is the third one, which says providing structure. Now providing structure means we have to move it further, like an interview, that you have to talk, interact with the patient with purposefully and logically. You cannot just ask anything. You have to ask related to the task, and it should sound logically what you're asking. For example, I told you that we have to ask some questions as well to the patient if it is related to the lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the question which you are going to ask should be logical.
Okay.
All right. So using techniques organizing explanation. Now, what kind of a techniques or how you explain, how you organize your explanation. So that is very important. How do you structure that? So make clear changes in topic means, for example, you are advising the patient something. There are three advices. And I always says that when you give an explanation, so organize in such a way that a patient can understand. For example, when you ask the question, you tell that, okay, well, I understand that your lifestyle could be one of the reason that your BP is high, as you are living sedentary lifestyle.
Okay.
Okay, so I would like to advise you. Then, when you start advice from 1, 2, 3 advices, so firstly, secondly, and finally, always make 3 points and make it very clear to the patient that firstly, I'm going to talk about your diet. Okay, then
Okay.
explain about diet. Then, secondly, I would highlight the importance of exercises. Now, when you're highlighting it, when you're saying that this is the first thing is the diet, second thing is the exercise. So you're talking in a points which will give a very clear understanding to the patient. So remember that you always talk in points to the patient.
Okay.
Right? Whenever you are changing a topic, highlight it that now I'm going to talk about diet. Now I'm going to talk about exercise.
Fine, posted. Okay.
Okay, so all of these has 3 marks. Now the fourth one is the information gathering. How to gather information from the patient. There's a very clear cut criteria has been given from OET side. So listen to carefully so that it's all in your mind when you say this. You already use this, but still it's good to know.
Okay.
Now, first open and first open-ended question leading to close-ended. As I believe, I don't know if you guys remember, I told that um, initially you have to gather the information. When you gather the information, first of all, you need to take a permission
Yes,
from
ma'am.
the. That would you mind if I'll ask you some questions? Take a permission. And after
Okay.
taking permission, when you are asking a question, the question what they're saying should always be open-ended. First question always should be open-ended,
Okay.
which can further lead to closed-end. So what do you mean by open and closed-ended? First talk about that. Anyone?
Mm, okay.
Yeah, anyone who can tell me what is the difference in
Uh,
open-ended and closed-ended?
how much alcohol do you consume in a day?
Hmm.
Uh, that kind of question. I mean, a single
Hmm.
answer.
So is it a open-ended or closed-ended?
It's an
Open.
open-ended.
Open it.
Yeah, very good. So, same way when we collect a history, so we cannot ask that do you have a fever, do you have this? Would you mind explaining me about the problems that you are facing in last 6 months or last 2 months?
Yeah.
What about your general health? How you are
Mm,
maintaining your general health in the past 6 months? Let's
okay.
say we have to ask on a smoking. Like, for example, the basic closed end question we asked, do you smoke? No, this is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we need to ask, what about your smoking habits? This is an open-ended question. Now, here he will talk everything, how many cigarettes he take, how many packets he take in a day, and which cigarette brand or whatever related to the how long he have been smoking. He has been smoking. So all this will come there.
Okay.
Okay, so your question has to be open-ended. Let's say
Open-ended.
the patient did not answer about the closed-ended, did not answer about how many cigarettes he takes in a day. Then you can add as a second question that how many cigarettes you take in a day. Now this is a closed-ended, but you can ask as a second question.
Okay.
Clear?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Now avoid leading questions or compound means never combine two questions together. For example, what about your smoking and drinking habit? Maybe it is easy for you to ask, but never combine. The issue is because as a patient, a patient is not in a good frame of mind. He will answer about first one and will forget about the second one. So
Okay.
always ask all the questions one by one, even though in your task it is written all in one line and there will be commas in between. So ask one by one.
Okay, ma'am.
Here, minimize interruption. Never ever interrupt the patient. Never stop the patient if he's saying something. Listen to carefully.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay, and clarify statements that are weak or anything which is not clear to the patient. Explain logically.
Okay.
Okay, let's say for example, he says, I don't want to take paracetamol. One of my friend has taken and his liver was damaged.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can clarify, well, that situation would be different in your friend's case. He might be taking that medicine for a long time, but in your case, this is required only for a week after the surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay,
give
ma'am.
an explanation, logical explanation.
Okay.
Now, summarizing the information. Now, this is a very, very important step. Please note down. This is a very important. I don't know if you guys have written this criteria. If not written, then take a screenshot and make your own notes of this.
Yes.
Because after this, I'm going to share a video on
Mm-hmm.
which you will write each dialogue of that video under these criteria. That which dialogue comes under which criteria.
Okay.
Okay, so please listen carefully. Summarizing information to encourage corrections means whatever the patient, you asked the question, he answered. So whatever he answered, you are going to summarize all that to the patient. For example, I have taken all the details, I asked all the questions, then after that I will say, okay, well, thank you so much for sharing it with me. So what I understood from your words, or you can say as per your words, you are diabetic for last 5 years, you are maintaining it with the diet and oral medication, you don't have any history of allergic to any food or drug, and you take 10 cigarettes in a day, and you don't drink. Is that right? So yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to repeat whatever the patient said, and you're going to verify also that is it right?
Mm-hmm.
Clear?
Yeah,
So
clear.
this is a very, very important step. Remember, this step has 3 marks.
Okay.
Okay, so now I have gathered the information. I thank the patient for giving the information. Then I will move well. Now I have a better understanding of your condition. So I believe that you can relate to the advice or cause. As a cause, you can say, well, since you are a chronic smoker, you have been smoking for so many years, and probably that is the reason that you have now this chest problem or respiratory problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to give you advice on that because it's really important to quit smoking now.
Okay.
Right? So information giving now. Now this is a part of giving, how to give information. Now establishing what the patient already knows. Now this is very important. Don't give a free service that just keep on talking firstly, secondly, and finally. First ask, maybe the patient already has that knowledge which you are going to give.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so it is very important to check what you're going to advise. For example, if I'm going to talk about smoking habits, to quit smoking, advices on that, I need to check that have you ever tried to quit smoking or any methods that you have adopted before.
Mm-hmm.
And he will say maybe yes, but I was not successful. I tried, but I wasn't. um, so I was just going like this only. I thought I will leave, quit, but I wasn't able to. I didn't follow any other measures. Okay. So then you can start by your.
Okay.
Then you can say that if he say yes, I have information, then say, well, that's really good. However, I would like to add more information. If he says no, I don't have any idea, then you can say, well, don't worry, that I'm here to explain you about that. Then you talk about, firstly, you use you know I would strongly advise you to, whenever you get eager to smoke, just divert your mind by calling your friend, going out, go for shopping, or spend some time with the family. So when you explain your first advice, always stop there. Give a pause after the advice. Remember, there will be always three advices, and all the three advices, when you give between that, for example, I give my first advice now, that I would strongly suggest you to divert your mind by calling your friend or so. I will give a pause here for few seconds. Why
Okay.
I'm giving a pause here? I'm giving a time to the patient to understand what I said.
Mm-hmm.
And if he has any question, he can ask me. So, but he's not asking, then I will encourage him to ask. That's what is your next pause. You will stop and then encourage to share thoughts. You will ask the patient, I hope it is clear to you. Or do you understand? Every time use a different phrase. Like you said, I hope you understand. I'll say yes. Now, I hope you understand means you are encouraging the patient to share the thoughts if he has any questions in mind.
Mm,
Okay.
Yeah. Then you will
yes.
start with your second advice, that I will suggest you to use e-devices like e-cigarette and nicotine patches and all. That really helps. It control the eagerness to smoke and all. Then again give a pause, and then again ask to the patient, do you understand that? Say yes. Okay. So finally, I would suggest you to do this, to join a quit smoking program in our hospital. Um, and we have a hotline number on which you can call, and you will get all the help from them.
Okay.
Again, give a pause, ask at the end, um, I hope it is clear to you. You'll say yes. Do you have any further questions for me? Ask anything else. You'll say no. Okay, so, well, I believe it's clear to you. So yes. Okay, thank you. And if you have any questions, then you can always use the call bell. You can press the call bell for more assistance. If it is a OPD case, you can say that, please, this is the leaflet for more information regarding the smoking. And if you have any concerns, you can always call on this number. Wish you a very speedy recovery. That's what you can say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I hope it is clear to you guys now.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah, anything out of this, all
Yes,
these
ma'am.
5 points, anything which is not clear, I can explain again. Okay, so the video,
Ma'am,
I believe
one
I
doubt in
already.
emergency department.
Yes, dear.
In emergency situation, this will be the same.
Yeah, good questions. Thank you. Now, in emergency situation, well, that depends on a task to task. But yes, there are some important things. In emergency, also, you are asking the questions to the patient.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Of course, the relationship building will not come in the emergency, but you can empathize. In the emergency, there are two things which I told you. You need to do your assessment, like that. Before that, you need to ask question. So you can absolutely fit this criteria in that, and you can ask an open-ended question, that how it happened. If you can tell me in detail about these injuries, that is open-ended question. And then you can say, okay, so as you said, you had this accident and this injury, let me do a quick clinical assessment, is that okay? It's yes. So this is how you can proceed it.
Okay.
See, information gathering, information giving, this criteria will be similar in all the settings.
Mhm. Mm,
Okay, only the
Not clear.
relationship building.
I
Yes.
did not get you. I didn't get you. Information gathering and information giving.
Yeah, that would be same in all the situation. I mean, you have to ask the
Yeah.
question and you have to give advice. Advice is all the
Okay.
question and advices. This is the only thing in the task, right? So this is definitely
Okay.
only the relationship building, which you are not using in ER. You, of course, you cannot in the ER. How are you and all? But you're empathizing. Under the relationship
Okay.
building, there's only not one point. How are you? There is other points also. You are going to start the conversation. You know, if you let me just take out this one. Now look at the relationship building. Now under this, it is also implemented in the ER. Why it can't be? See, start the conversation. You are going to start. Be attentive. Whatever the patient is saying, you are saying okay, all right, understand, non-judgmental. You know, if patient is saying, I don't need any treatment for this injury, you just, I have a severe headache, give me a medicine, I want to go home. No, you cannot say to the patient directly, no, 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 you have to stay here. So you are going to tell very, okay, well, I understand your concern that you want to go home. Let me tell you that you met with an accident and you have some injuries, and I need to assess you more. And probably right now you are under alcohol influence. Maybe that's the reason you have a headache, but we need to do more evaluation.
Mm.
So I'm getting non-judgmental, right? Show empathy. You know, say, I'm so sorry to see you in this condition, and I'm sorry to hear about your accident. Of course, you can use this relationship building under all the circumstances. Only one sentence I told you not to use. That is, how are you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not logical.
Yeah. So rest everything will you will be implemented in all the criteria. This is a criteria which will be implemented in all the tasks.
Mm.
Okay.
Clear?
Okay.
Yeah. Anything? Any more questions?
No, ma'am.
Anyway, so if you have later on while doing practice, if you have anything in mind, you can always send me a voice message or you can text me up, or we can also discuss in the next session. So I have already shared a link with you guys in the group, but I will share
Mm.
that again now. It is um, a doctor-patient conversation.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
and what I want
That,
you guys to do,
ma'am.
listen to that audio carefully,
Okay.
okay, and write down. You know, for example, there are 5 points, right? One is relationship building, second is understanding and incorporating, third providing structure, fourth is gathering information, and then advising, giving, right? So you have 5 points. So I want you to listen that video carefully and write down the phrases which are used in the video under each criteria.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay, I hope you got what I'm trying to say. So for
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
example,
ma'am.
the first one is relationship building. Under this relationship building, you know these are the points. So you listen to the conversation of the doctor and patient and see that how the doctor is talking, how she is developing a relationship building, what kind of a words she is using in that video, how she is showing empathy, how she is non-judgmental for the patient,
Okay.
how many times for be attentive, how many times she's saying yes, okay, all right. Are you getting me?
Mm.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
So how many of you are today in the session?
Four.
So
Okay.
Yes.
Biju,
Yes, ma'am.
Biju, you are going to, I'm going to give you the topic number 1 and 2. One is relationship building, second is understanding and incorporating patient's perspective. You are
Okay,
going
ma'am.
to write down.
Okay, ma'am. The video is that hemoglobin.
Very good. Yes, I've already shared that.
Ah, yes, I already saw that, ma'am, twice.
Twice. Very good. Then let's do all together then. So then let everybody do all the points.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, you will get better idea that how she's saying what are the words she's using under these circumstances or under this criteria. So I hope everybody has seen that the topic, it's a YouTube link. The topic is clinical communication. It is already in the group.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, if it's not clear, I will share it now. Just after the class, I will share it again.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Shina?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so in that way, you can go ahead with that. I hope it is clear now to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt, any question, you can ask me now.
So I need to write these first two topics, ma'am.
You write everybody will write all the points.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
I thought to divide, but it's better let everybody write all the points.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So see you guys tomorrow.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, I was thinking actually to take a session on Sunday for the writing, since you all will be available on Sunday in the
Yes.
day.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I will message in the group about tomorrow. If I'm taking on a Sunday, then I will not take the session tomorrow, but I will update that in the group.
Okay,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay.
All right.
All
Okay,
right,
ma'am.
Tomorrow, I hope it's okay with everybody at the daytime, 11 o'clock.
No, ma'am.
Not me, and myself and Rashmi.
Bye.
Ma'am.
Tomorrow,
Yeah.
Friday.
I
Yeah.
have night duty
See,
today, so
I'm sorry.
I'm having night starting night today for 3 nights. So I don't think so. Tomorrow morning I will be available.
Rashmi, you.
Ma'am, I'm having
We both are
duty.
desk. Yes, ma'am.
Rashmi, you
Day
told me you
scholars.
are in the daytime always.
Yes, daytime.
No, actually, okay. So you let me know in all the ways how it can be, because I'm doing it on Sunday only because of Biju and Rashmi, because you guys are available only in the evening, and because for a writing I need at least 2 hours, and I want to
Oh.
take everybody on board for that. So that's why I was thinking to do on Sunday. If you guys are not available on Sunday, then no point.
No, Sunday will be
Sunday is
available, ma'am.
available.
No, I told about Sunday only. Sunday 11 o'clock.
Actually, I thought
Sunday.
Tomorrow.
Okay,
tomorrow 11 o'clock.
Sunday I will be there. I thought for tomorrow morning.
No. Sunday morning 11 a.m.
Oh,
Okay.
that's fine,
Sunday
ma'am.
morning 11 a.m. is fine, ma'am.
Okay. So anyway, so I will let you know. I will message in the group if we can do it tomorrow also, and on Sunday also. I will see that. Okay, I'll let
Okay,
you know.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay,
Thank
guys.
you. Thank
See
you.
you guys tomorrow.
Okay.
Good night.
Uh,
Good night, ma'am.
ma'am.
Take care.
Good night, Jaslyn. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Bye.